Hey YouTube, Goddess Lily. Well, I have a 3x3" closure to show you, and I do have a wig update for you too. So this is a 3x3" made with our Junie hair. Now this hair is actually 10 to 12 inch, and I have a minimum for ventilating, which is 14 inches. And this is the reason why, is because 10 to 12 inches comes out really short. It comes out to almost about 8 inches in length. So really, to me, it kind of, it's really a bang. If you plan on just wearing it that way, that would be cool, because it's really not going to give you that much blending going down, the back. So basically, this is the hairline. So this is the one that I did the experimental bleaching with. So I actually bleached the tips before ventilating. So I didn't charge her for the bleaching, and I didn't do a good job of getting the bleaching out when I covered the net with the Got to Be Glued. For some reason, I don't know, I'm not I don't know, mixing it right, the black dye, but you might have to touch this up yourself. I'm sorry for the little bit of red that comes through, but to me it looks pretty. But I did, you cover the net with the Got to Be Glued, and I pressed it in really, really good. I put it under the hooded hair dryer and let it dry. Then I coated it again for a second time and let it dry. But as you can see, some of the bleaching stains came through a little bit. So I'm not an expert on bleaching. I've always told you that bleaching is my least favorite thing to do. So actually, I'm working on a frontal, and I did bleach these, and I think they came out really, really, really blonde, and so I'm really glad at that. So this is actually also our Junie hair. So it's really long, 22 inches long, but of course, you have that fold over. So this is the fold. So you have to give me, you can see where it stops right there. So you have to give me, a little longer hair to allow for that fold. And that's why I say 14 inches is the minimum that I want to ventilate with. So the closure, for the most part, the roots are really blonde, but you have a little bit of red coming through. So I'll, talk to you about that. If you want to cover it with the Got to Be Glued, you have to put it under a hooded hair dryer and let it dry, or put a blow dryer to it, but you have to cover the net. And then you go ahead with a little tiny makeup brush, like a little, eyeliner brush, that little tip, and you just have to part it, and basically, like you're painting, just kind of paint it on, and the net is covered. But if it's not totally covered, it will leak through like this. But I do not put bleach strands on the hairline, so that's why the hairline looks black. I do about the 3 rows, and these are the rows that you can pull forward and cut to create the baby hair. So these rows in the front are done with, I'm trying to pull it forward, they're done with, I have about 4 rows of single strands, and I do double knot these because single strands is my least favorite needle to ventilate with, the one needle, because single strands break. I do not like, they break unless they're double knotted, so I just definitely do not offer, single strands. So this is what it looks like. So you have that, it's black right here. So I never, oh, butterfly, I never put bleached hair right in the front, because it just definitely doesn't blend in with your hairline. So basically this is what it looks like. So she's ready to go out to you. Okay, so the wig update I have is my wig. This was the fine ventilating that I was doing for, experimental purposes. It was, or actually, let me put the down. It is a 2-inch lace frontal, and it's single strand double knots. Now what I did was I ordered a couple of wig caps, pre-made wig caps that has, you know, the elastic back here, so you have that snug fit that my wig caps weren't really giving you. And it does fit really, really snug if you wore, you know, the pre-made wig caps and you hook it, or this one doesn't have the hook, it has the gather. It does fit. But the net I have issues with because it's so thin that I'm going to actually have to cover it with my fishnet before I sew my tracks. I'm ready to sew the tracks. Look at these holes these are holes from my regular pins that I put in to hold, you know, while I was ventilating. So this is just really cheap thin net. The cap was $15, which to me, you know, is good to have the elastic. Yeah, it could be worth it for that, but it's just made really, you know, cheaply. So I actually have to cover this. So this is actually experimental. I don't know that I would go with these caps. I'm going to try to, you know, find a different type of cap. I'm going to turn in the inside so you can see the size of the lace frontal. So I do want to offer my wigs on a pre-made cap because I like the elastic fitting that comes, you know, in the back. But I have to offer it with the largest frontal would be 4-inch, because then if I go any larger than a 4-inch back, it's going to start jeopardizing the way the elastic is made. So as you can see, I made this frontal. I measured it for 2-inch, you know, and I made it, and I basically just sewed it on. I hand sewed it, and then I machine sewed, so you can kind of see that zigzag stitch. So basically I made the frontal and I hand sewed it, then I machine sewed it. Now I'm going to actually go further with this. I want to create a finished hairline. Now finished hairline is basically if you're not going to glue your head down. I actually was going to offer her, I told her I would do a finished hairline for her, but she asked me a couple questions like, will, you know, the edge, will it still be able to cover, you know, the edge of my hair? And I couldn't answer it, so because I had never made one for me, and I tried to make something for me before I offer it to you, so I just decided not to do it. So I actually found some photos of what a finished hairline looked like, and I posted it on my blog. So if you go to my blog regularly, you'll see, you know, it's probably 3 or 4 posts down by now, but it says creating a finished hairline. Those are pictures that I took, you know, from the internet, and I decided I'm going to try to do it. So basically what it is before you cut the lace, you don't actually cut the lace. You pull, you know, you pull the lace back, and I actually found a clear fabric glue that I experimented with that dries clear. So basically, you know, you pull the lace back, and the edge of it, let's see, you pull the lace back, and the very edge of the lace, after you cut it and after you glue it down, you take, you know, your ventilating needle and you go across the edge with another stitch. So it becomes finished. You see no, you know, no visible lace when you flip it over. There's no visible lace because you're going to go across the edge again. Now because I haven't done it, so I don't know, you know, I actually pull the edge of my hair out to cover my lace. I showed you that, I think, in my last video, how I do my wig when I wear it. Yeah, I did, when I wear a full wig. And as you know, my whole hairline is out in the front. I have like a big V like that. So I'm excited to do this because I want to see what it looks like, and I want to have the option to, you know, wear it forward without pulling my hairline out, or wearing it a little back and pulling my hairline out over it. So with this wig, as you can tell, the hair is ventilated straight forward, straight down. Did I show you that? Let me show you. Oh, I did show you, right? It's ventilated all to the front. So by it going all to the front, never fails. I come out here, a helicopter comes over. I'm in the path for the, you know, Long Beach Airport. So I have that, I want to give myself that lift in the front. So that's why I did all forward. But the hairline is very beautiful. This is, you know, let's see, I can hold it up this way. This is all single strands going, all single strands double knotted, just, you know, going all the way back. All the way back to probably about here. Let me give you a part so you can see if you can see it. Because halfway back, or maybe a 1/4 inch from the end, I started doing 2 to 3 strands per hole, because to get that thickness. So this is the inside, and you know, I don't bleach my knots because I just go ahead and dye my whole hair, you know, brown. So this is kind of the inside of it. So they get kind of a little, you know, larger back there. So I have a story to share with you. Oh, in case you're wondering, this is my camera. I actually photographed the thing. This is my white. You seen these things? It's called a My Studio, and it's just a big white background that you sit down, and it has the size so you can tape your products, you know, and have the back. So this is what I use as my background. I got that from BH Studio along with all my other little gadgets, because I'm into photography, because my son is, you know, his hobby is a photographer. He's a photographer as a hobby, but he's actually into interactive, you know, media design and stuff like that. He works for the Hollywood studios. But anyway, let's see what I wanted to say. Oh, I wanted to share a story with you. So I got an email from this lady, and she was in the Netherlands. She said the Netherlands. And she said that she got a wig made in China with, you know, beautiful Malaysian hair. And, you know, Malaysian hair is really pretty and straight and silky. It's, you know, a grade above Cambodian, Brazilian, Indian, whatever. To me, in my opinion, Malaysian hair is the best hair. I never ventilated with it, so I don't really know how it ventilates. But she said she got a wig made in China. She wanted to know if I could add, if I could adjust the fit and add a little more hair where she thought it was too thin. So, you know, when you email me for a wig, just for a wig repair, I always ask, you know, send me photos. I need to see what I'm working with before I can quote you a price. And I really can't quote you a price until I get it, if it involves ventilating. If it doesn't, then, you know, I can quote you a price. So from the way she took the pictures and stuff, I couldn't really tell, but it just looked like a regular wig that, you know, I would go to a website and I would see, because the wigs made in China, in my opinion, are too thin, because they actually do use a wider, and this is getting more into the density, they use a net that the holes are a little wider than this. These holes look kind of wide, but you know, they're really, 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 really tiny. So they use a Swiss that's a little larger, and they put 1 strand in every hole. That's how they make the wigs in China. And I'm not a fan of the 1 strand thing, because single strands are the most easiest to break. So I only do single strands across the hairline. That's it. Everything else is, you know, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, even 4 to 5, the size in the back. You know, if they had a 6 needle, I would love it, because I would definitely give you, you know, the back of the lace fronts, and it would definitely have a lot of, you know, you need that bulk to. Well, anyway, back to the story. So She said, I asked her how much was the wig, and she said $2,000. Can you believe it? She got her wig made for $2,000 in China, and she's not happy with it. And so I declined to touch it. And the reason why is because the way that they ventilate the wigs with the single strands, sometimes they put single strands in every hole, but if they're creating a specific design, like around the temple or, you know, maybe this way and that way, it's not in every hand. And I'm not familiar with that kind of ventilating. I'm good at ventilating, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to creating a certain pattern or making it a certain way, I'm not that advanced. I mean, I have some books that teach me, but I'm not, you know, I don't want to offer that. That's getting into wigs that are the thousands of dollars. I can send you a website of a lady that I met that lives in Beverly Hills, or her studio's in West LA, somewhere out there. Her wigs are custom, and they start at $2,500 up. I kid you not. And she offers all that. You bring her a picture, you want it, she can make it exclusively that way, but that's the only way you have to wear it, because, you know, the strands are going zigzag, horizontal, you know, all kind of ways. They're not just, I basically ventilate either back so they can flow northeast, south, and west, depending on the hair you give me, because wetted hair will not flow in any direction, because it has been wetted and taken through that, you know, bent process. It loses a lot of its elasticity, and, you know, it doesn't have that flexibility to go northeast, south, west. That's why this is ventilated to the front. So basically I can only wear it to the front. I can try to brush it back, but it's gonna go back to the front. So when I ventilate back, you have more flexibility to go to the front, but it's not totally going to go to the front because it's hair cut off the track. So the frontal that I'm making now, she sent me Arjuni hair for the sides in the back and bulk hair for the front, because she wants that flexibility. But of course, she asked me for forward ventilating, so we'll see how much flexibility that bulk hair has. So I'm gonna ventilate it to the front like she wants it. She wants that swooped hairstyle, but because it's bulk hair, it should be able to, you know, go back. Now, there are ways to manipulate it. I can brush it back, spray it with hold and spray, and dry it that way, but, you know, I'm not quite sure how that'll work, because of course this is hair cut off the weft. Anyway, I just wanted to share that story with you about the wig. When you get your wigs and your pieces made in China and you pay this huge amount of money, you have no idea of what it's going to look like when it comes back or when you get it in the mail, because they don't offer you websites and blogs and, you know, close-up videos of their work and stuff like we do, American wig makers here. We all do that because, hey, we don't have nothing to hide, and we want to make ourselves better, and, you know, we want to please you, and we want the feedback. So, you know, just be careful when you're ordering from China, and just know what you're dealing with. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching.